Hello everyone, Sheek here with another Transformers review, and today I will be reviewing the Zeta Bruticon Uproar, aka Brawl. He is the fourth in the set of 5 that this set came with, and he's a tank, obviously. He's pretty cool. Does remind me a little bit of another one. Combined, maybe. Anyway, but definitely pretty cool tank. Definitely more complicated than it looks. He is kind of fun, but also very frustrating to transform at the same time. Even with the instructions, he was quite a pain. Mainly the treads. That's the part that really was frustrating. And he does come with some antennas that can pop off, although the reason why I didn't glue him in place is because I want to put him back in the box. But I did have a baggie that I have set aside for that, and he does come with a gun. One gun. He actually has the least accessories aside, I guess because he has a big old gun. But yeah, this is what he has for his gun. Looks pretty cool. Has a little sight on there, and then his character card, Zeta Bruticon Uproar. He is very strong, very low on intelligence, like 1 bar. I guess it's not too surprising. Speed fairly slow because he is a tank. Armor very high, rank relatively low. I mean, I guess you don't want someone that doesn't have brains high up. Courage, I guess he makes sense. He's kind of courageous. He doesn't have the brains to know that he should be afraid in certain situations. Fairly high firepower. Skill, I mean, I guess if you're all brawn and no brains, I guess you're not going to have too terribly much skill. So that's about it for that. Let's get down. Well, actually, no. One last thing before we get down to our transformation. Let's look at the articulation for the tank mode. Tank turret can go up that far. It can go down a little bit. That's kind of stupid because boom, right in front of the tank. Not a good idea. It does do a full 360 just on a really weird pivot. It's not. Okay, maybe. Okay, never mind. Okay, so it wasn't positioned quite right, but it does do a full 360 if you have it positioned right. If you have it back here, well, slid back here, it's not going to pivot right. Now he looks more like a proper tank with it all centered and whatnot. But yeah, and then you can get some extra pivot, but it doesn't really, it kind of messes up the look of the tank. His treads do move, although as you can see they kind of want to droop, but you're not going to really be lifting up a tank. These little headlamps, they aren't glued in, although I don't see why it would get in the way in the box, so I might actually glue them so that pink doesn't happen. After nearly losing that piece on camera, I am highly encouraged to glue those into place. But yeah, definitely want to be careful with those. You don't want them to go pink in the night. Instead of going thump, bump, whatever in the night. He does technically have rolling treads, but they are very, very stiff. And also, if you don't have them in the standard position, it does look kind of weird because they were in the box for so long. I'm assuming, I don't know how long it was sitting in the box before I got a hold of it from the online toy store. But it was enough to make it to where it does not want to really roll. It just slides without really moving the treads much. So technically, based on technicality, yes, the treads do move, but in practicality, not so much. So let's get down to transformation. Okay, to get him from tank mode into robot mode, I just want to, I guess, pull these down initially, and then also that's another reason why you want to make sure the treads are kind of in the right position, because if they aren't, then it's not going to want to fold properly. But you kind of just want to get his treads folded, tracked, whatever you call it. Anyway, pretty sure it's in the right position for this one, but it's not going to stay really. But yeah, anyway, yeah, this The treads are the most problematic thing in my experience of transforming him. Although, I mean, that's not to say that there isn't any other difficulties with transforming him. Okay, let's go ahead and get that pulled up. So you kind of just want just pull this apart, and as you can see, his legs just kind of want to extend, which is convenient and nice in that regard, I guess. And then you, like I said, collapse these in, and then just rotate in. I don't know why it's such a problem getting them rotate out for tank mode, but it is, and it's very annoying. Anyway, then get this knee into place. Pretty sure it's supposed to tab in right. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to plug in this hole right here in this panel, but it's not really doing that. So anyway, let's set that aside for now. Anyway, but like I said, I want to collapse the treads and just rotate it around. And I don't know why, like the other side cooperates relatively well, but this one is not cooperating right now. Let's see. So there we are. Okay, got it. Anyway, but that is probably one of the hardest things about this guy's transformation, is just getting his treads to go where you want them. Then just flip out his feet. And just to make things go a little smoother, I'm just going to grab the screwdriver and hope that helps. Get it out. Maybe not. Okay, there we are. But just flip out his feet. I don't know what it is about this and difficult things to flip out. It's sad to think that sometimes an even bigger one, like Zeta or I keep wanting to say Zeta. I think Zeta was the company that initially designed it. Might have even been the company behind its production and everything else after the fact. But even so, it's kind of sad, I think, when a bigger, more complicated figure is easier to transform than this. Come on, foot. Get out of there. Alright, I managed to get his other toe of his foot out. Unfortunately, as you can see, it is a bit scratched up now. This guy, I think, I know I transformed at least a couple of times, but I feel like maybe I spent so much time just turning him from tank into combined mode and not into his robot mode, that maybe that just never really showed up as an issue. Okay, so now we got his legs mostly done, except for I think the knee, back of the knees or whatever isn't done right, but figure that out. But let's rotate up. I'm gonna just untab those and then pull apart and then rotate up like this. And as you can see, his sides popped out. Flip those up. There we are. Then rotate his waist around. Pivot this up. Rotate around. And get that pushed into place. It looks like it has a relatively big crotch piece. I don't know how big it is compared to the others, but it's like maybe has, I don't know. Never mind. Anyway, robot anatomy, if they even really have anatomy in that regard. Okay, and then his head, come on, you slide up, although, come on, slide up, there we are, or pull it up, and man, his head, absolutely love his head. Brawl is actually one of my favorite characters anyway. I've always loved the head sculpt of Brawl. Anyway, that's pretty much it for that. I'll talk more about that when I get to talk about articulation and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and get him into the rest of the way into his robot mode. Okay, so this is supposed to, there we are, collapse down. Although I think I might have rotated around when I shouldn't have. Let's see. stand up, would you? Nope. I had this part right. It's supposed to be rotated around. And you just kind of just collapse it back down, I guess. And then this looks like it's supposed to tab right in there. There we are. Got some big, strong shoulders, I suppose, on this guy. Rotate at the bicep. Open up, flip out his hand. And same on this side. Rotate around. Flip out his hand. Rotate out the wrist. Open. Open this up. Rotate around, or rotate around, then do that, but whatever. Doesn't matter as long as it gets in the right place. Then close up, tab into place. Make sure it's a little more. There we are, flush, and then that popped out. Okay, so tab in. One side wants to cooperate, the other side does not. Why is that not surprising? There we are. Yeah, just push down and into place. It doesn't look, and there we are. Snaps into place. And the one thing I've noticed is that that tends to not want to stay out quite right, but there we are. Got his arms done. There we pull up his shoulders however you want them to be. You can push them down. You can pull them up. Depends on how you want his arms. But I feel like it looks best like that. And also his knees are being a little bit weird. Let's go ahead and figure out what's going up with that. Okay. Anyway, so what you want to do is, what do you want to do here? All I know is that the knee is supposed to, back of the knee is supposed to tab into this somehow, but it's not doing that, and it's making me very frustrated. Okay. I'm pretty sure this is how it's supposed to go. Although it feels like it's not quite right, but I'm pretty sure that is how it's supposed to go, because now it's not tabbing into, there we are. Okay, well, kind of sort of tabbing into place. It just feels a little bit weird, but that is kind of what's supposed to do, and I don't want to break that panel. There we are. Got that tabbed into place, and that's how it's supposed to go, like that. Okay. And then just collapse this down, and I do believe this goes ahead and slides in there. And here we have Uproar in his robot mode. And I think Uproar looks pretty cool in his robot mode. Out of the 5, I feel like he makes the most sense. He, Swindle, and Onslaught honestly make the most sense to be the blockier of the ones, as they're the land vehicles, whereas Blast Off and Vortex, they're the spacecraft, well, flying. So it makes sense that you would think they wouldn't be as blocky. But he looks cool. Even although his arms do feel a little bit small for his overall size and shape, but man, he is one powerhouse looking of a bot. Anyway, and unfortunately, with all this mass, he has a little bit of problem standing up properly, but does look cool overall. And his gun, of course, he can hold his gun, and he can go pew pew, bang bang, and I feel like he is probably my second favorite of the set. My favorite is Onslaught, which we'll go into reasons why when I review him. And yeah, let's go ahead and remove that. And that's about it for getting him into his robot mode and what you can do with that. Anyway, let's take a look at that noggin of his, which is a very brawly, in my opinion. I mean, it is slightly stylized, I do believe. His head can look up that far, down that far. Does have a lot of wiggly waggly, but that's also because of the spring platform it's on. Do a full 360. Arms go out that far. Rotate that far. You can pivot up like that. Pivot down like that. Yeah, bicep swivel. Over 90-degree bend at the elbow. wrist rotation, waist swivel. He does not have any pivot, which I don't really care that much about. Legs, he can pretty much do the full splits. Yes, he can do the full splits. Okay, that was a little bit weird. Legs, if you flip up the panel, can go about that far. Back about that far, especially if you move that out of the way, you can go out that far. Over 90 degree bend at the knees. And he does have ankle tiltage, although it does look a little bit wonky, but he does have quite a bit of ankle tiltage. So yeah, that is about it for him in his robot mode. So let's go ahead and get him into his combined mode. Okay, before we get into combined mode, one thing that I did forget about, or never noticed until relatively recently, is that you can actually open these up. And it looks like it's designed, if you actually have figures that are small enough, you can actually have them sit inside if you wanted to. So that's kind of cool, but unnecessary or not. Something that's welcome for some fans, but it is a nice little thing that they didn't have to include, but included anyway. One other thing, I do believe I had mistransformed initially when I have in tank mode, but to hold the, because remember I was like, oh, the treads, they tend to drop. Well, they won't if you have those to have in a place, which you just flip those out when you transform them into a tank mode. Anyway, enough about that. Let's go ahead and get him into his combined mode. Okay, so first things first, you want to collapse his cannon barrel, and then you want to bring these down, flip in, bring down, flip in, and just collapse in. And of course, difficult to do for whatever reason. Probably because it's rubber and this is plastic and it's gripping on it. Or I'm forgetting something. Anyway, it does say to bring this down pretty much. Then you're going to want to, yeah, pretty much it just wants you to undo his legs. Get these panels back out, and of course getting these sometimes getting these panels out can be a pain, but just pretty much come on, get this untabbed. Now it's not so that you can extend the legs like I inadvertently did, but so that you can flip out. Okay. Need an assistant real quick, but so you can, I guess I will need the more sharper, thinner implement, and it's not cooperating, but you are supposed to flip that out. And well, anyway, so you flip that side out, you flip that side out, and then you also flip these guys down right here. After struggling to get these out, manage to get them out, you get the parts for the foot. And while you're here, while you have the legs out, you go ahead and rotate this into here, like that. And then, of course, same on the other side, just collapse and rotate in. There we are. Got that done. And you just, then what you want to do is for up here, just rotate that up. And then you're going to take the arms, rotate down. Okay, rotate, and then take down like that. I'm not sure why rotating it makes it code for. Oh wait, yeah. herp derp, yeah, elbow joint, of course. But you rotate that around, bring it forward, collapse his legs back in, collapse back in. There we are, like so. Get it, okay, and make sure that these don't try to flip back down or back in. Then you just get this all closed up. Close up those panels, get these lined up. Get this pulled down and just tab into a place. And okay, slide it down a bit. And then these, actually right here, the holes right there, those plug into those holes. Press that in, and we have a fairly sturdy leg that's pretty much done. Just need to grab the foot and there the instructions go again, because they cannot stay in one place. And then slide in. This is the one, if I remember right, that had problems. And what's really cool about this one, I'll have to double check on Swindle, but you has these that flip down. Screwdriver here for assistance, since this is really stiff. But why isn't it not wanting to rotate? Okay. Anyway, come on. Rotate down. There we are. And this should at least help keep it from sliding off. And there we have a leg all done. And just like with Swindles, quite a bit of ankle tiltage. And yeah, so that's, and I guess if you want to bring that in, here we have the legs. And right now, considering how the camera is and that doesn't show a whole lot where it's positioned, for all we could know, it could be Bruticus completely assembled up top. So for all we knew, for all you know, but we know it's not, but this could be Bruticus up there, and I don't know if I'll be able to get them to fit in here combined, so we'll see. So that's about it for Transformers. Well, not officially, but Transformers Zeta Bruticon Uproar, aka a Brawl. And if you like this review and you'd like to see more, please click that like and subscribe button to see more. And until next time, have a good one, everyone.